since you never know what's going to be over the hill. Let's get this thing rolling. Okay, garden. Is box empty? Don't see any deer or any fox. Back here. What's today's gospel? Jesus tells about, gosh, I forgot. That's not what I was going to talk about. Our Washington Redskins, Commanders, whatever, which I don't really follow the football team because they really haven't been very good for years, and I've been following basketball, only our local team. I've been following the Bullets and the Wizards for years now, way back, since the Mirasan. I don't even know how far back, I can't even remember, but back. And baseball, I'll hit the three: football, baseball, basketball. Baseball and basketball, I have been more interested in than football, because football, I just don't know the players anymore, and they've been so bad. I am a fair weather fan. Anyway, I flicked on, so I loved watching the Nationals. I'm a Washington guy, not a Baltimore guy. So the Nationals win that game the other day. No, I'm sorry, the World Series a few years ago. Toby? That was great. But what I wanted to talk about was the game, the football game, with the Chicago Bears, I believe. And we were winning like 12-0. Then it was 12-7. And then with like a minute to go, the Bears were rolling down the field there, and they end up getting, what was it? So the score was, it was like 13-12 with like a minute or 20 seconds left. And I said, okay, this game. So one, we have a quarterback who runs. Now there's certain quarterbacks who will run a lot over the years, and it's an extra trick, it's an extra weapon in their arsenal. The problem is quarterbacks who run tend to get injured, and since the quarterback seems to be a much more important person in the strategy of the game than running backs and ends, it's usually not wise for your quarterback to make a thing about that, about running on a regular basis. It's a great idea, sometimes, where your ends and receivers are all way down the field, and you're going to be faster than the linemen, and so you take a quick run and you can get yourself 10 or 15 yards, which is nice. Anyway, I thought our quarterback was injured. I think he has a rib injury, and I wasn't even sure if he was in the game, so I just happened upon the game towards the end. Actually, it was like 7 or 8 minutes left, I think it was, when I came in there. Maybe it was in the third quarter, whatever. The point is, I left the game at 20 seconds to go, because I said, okay, our quarterback is starting to lose his edge because of this little trick he does. And I don't even know if he's in the game, not in the game. So I said, this game is over. So I left at 21 seconds, of course. So the next morning I wake up and I see the paper, and it has a picture in the middle of the front page about the Redskins, Commanders. And I didn't even know what it says, because I know they lost the game. So I didn't even pay attention. It should have been a much bigger. It should have been much. So I just glanced the picture, didn't even look at the score, and just saw that, it was a picture of our team and the Chicago Bears. Just didn't think about it. Flick through like I always do, look to the Metro section, anything interesting I want to read there, look to the style section. I always keep the style section in the front page aside to go through in depth, which I don't do every day, but those are the articles that I'm interested in. Sports, if there's something of interest, but generally sports, no, and often the Metro, there's stuff I can just throw away. So I go through and I put the front page, the style aside. Then I get to the sports and it says, Hail Victory. Hail Victory. So, first off, the phrase is Hail Mary. Second off, I went, what? And then I looked and realized that with 20 seconds, we won the game. So I went to my phone and I asked my phone, give me the last 2 minutes of the football game. So I watch it, and first off, the last 20 seconds left, 21 seconds, seemed like it went a long time for 21 seconds. It felt like we were given extra time on the clock. We weren't, but it felt like that, number one. Number two, they threw what is called the Hail Mary pass, where you send all your guys downfield to the end zone, and you throw the ball, and then you just pray Hail Mary that one of those guys catches it. Well, strategy I didn't know is you have a guy in the front of the pack and you have a guy in the back who's in the end zone, and then everyone else is basically on the line or in that vicinity. So if the ball gets bounced backwards, you can grab it. If it bounces forward, you can still have a chance to run it in. Well, that's exactly what happened. The ball bounces up in the air and our receiver is behind everybody in the end zone and catches the ball. It was incredible. Of course, I walked away from the game because there's no way. It was an impossibility that they could win that game, and yet they did. So anyway, my point about this whole thing is they wrote Hail Victory. Now, number one, I don't expect them to say Hail Mary because it wouldn't really make sense. Number two, by saying Hail Victory, they're referencing the play, so at least they're giving credit in that regard. And I'm talking about the Washington Post, who is generally speaking a very liberal and not a God-fearing, God-recognizing publication. Not conservative at all. Not showing that it believes in family and God. Anyway, so I just found that interesting, the phrasing, Hail Victory. They did acknowledge, so all they acknowledged basically was that there's a play called the Hail Mary. They didn't acknowledge God. They didn't acknowledge the mother of God, Mary. They didn't acknowledge that may be, oh now I'm pushing it, may be a inherently Catholic thing, I don't know. But, yeah, I just thought it was an interesting phrasing. And then there was another article about, and it said Hail Mary. And it was either about faith or it was about luck versus, I think it said something about luck versus, what was it? Faith. Maybe luck versus faith. And I did not read that article. But anyway, that's a little update on the Commanders. Don't be, oh my gosh. Anyway, that they won this game with a Hail Mary pass, and that pretty much sums up what I have to say about that. But yeah, I thought that was very, I don't know, I just found the phrasing, and so let's remember to ask all the saints to pray for us. Mary, Mother of God, pray for us, and pray for all the souls in purgatory.